Okay, this is a video I've been wanting to get out for quite a while. It's on my sitting up neck work. It's really great deep work, saves your hands, fingers, and wrists, and it's great for the client. So when I have a client on the table and they're light enough for me to lift, I'll go down. I'll make sure the draping is really secure, try to pull it high under the arms, almost like angel's wings. Get it up high on both sides. And keep their modesty protected. And then I'll come under the back of their neck. Both thumbs will cross the spine and make a V right between the neck and the index fingers. I'll straighten out my arms, get a real good foundation, and walk them right up to sitting. Climb on the table easy, cover them up. I'll get the sheet wrapped around. I like to get it under the underarm if I can. So if I can get it under there without tickling them, that's where I roll it up. I'll also put a towel right at their tush, gets their glute cleavage covered. And then I want to let them know that, first off, I can't see their face. They've got to let me know if anything's bad. And then I tell them they can have wide legs off the table or crisscross applesauce, whatever's going to be better for their lower back. I can start high like this and just palm right down the top of the shoulders. That works really nice. It's easy. If I keep my body ergonomics good, I'm doing good here. At some point, depending on your torso height, you might have to change to kneeling. I like to have one knee up on the table all the time. I can also lift their arm up over my thigh, kind of put it right in their shoulder there. That helps me support them, gives me some traction so I can use body weight to pull them back and push them forward, so it can be a lever or a fulcrum. I'm always trying to keep track of their posture, make sure it's at least working for them. This one here is really, really deep. I get my elbows in at the top of the traps, put my hands together on top, and just kind of spread right along those traps all the way out to the shoulder bones, nice and slow. Again, I can't see their face, so I'm looking for feedback from them. I can get some nice rotations of pushing and pulling. Same thing, other side here. There's a lot of traction in my work, a lot of opposing forces, trying to let the body decide exactly where it needs to work more than forcing work into one specific area. I do a lot of spinal rotation, joint articulation, trying to maximize this position. Always watching the draping. It kind of gets away from me every now and then. I like to get a lot of stretching in. So this is a nice one where I anchor her hand on her shoulder, use that tricep as a lever, and start to rotate her. I also like to get a lot of extension. I'll move my leg over here in a second. That'll give me another lever for more power. It depends on the size of the person I'm working with. As you can see here, I'm working really close with my client, and that's one way I can work. The other way is you can get really far out, straighten your levers, and get a little more long lever effect, a little more dynamic, a little less work on you. Okay, same thing, different side. What you can see here is how I use my body for the energy and power. I lock my tricep, my elbow into my thigh, and then I use my hips to get that forward motion. And then again, my foot comes over for more leverage, gives you more power with less effort. Now I'm going to bring her over my thigh and just see what I can get on some lateral flexion, rotate her a bit. Depends on who they are, if you want to do this or not. You can work some incredibly heavy lines here, super deep trigger points, really easy for you. I'll usually put a towel or bolster between me and the client here so I can really get those pecs opened up. Didn't have one this day in the classroom. But a lot of stretching, thumbs in the occiput, leaning back here. I really can't stress enough how important it is to make sure the sheet's secure so your client feels really secure. And when I reach through, I always try to reach through down by the elbows with the arms wide, which makes sure you clear any breast tissue. The majority of pressure here is usually my thumbs in the occiput or the front of the shoulder with my wrists, my forearms. And this is definitely contingent on how you feel with your knees being bent like this. I emphasize a lot of fulcrums, levers, traction, and torque in my work. Makes your work really profound, but really easy for you. There's actually a lot going on in this one, so I'll unpack this one later, but it is a great move for some clients. It's really relaxing for you, but super challenging for them. It could be a low back, it can be thorax, stomach work, QLs, all sorts of things we can work within here. I have a lot of meat on my thighs for padding. If you don't, you might want to wrap your leg in a towel so your client doesn't feel the sharpness of your leg bone. Whenever you lift your client, you want to be safe, you want to be efficient. Sometimes I get them involved with the lift, sometimes I don't. Depends on how big they are, what position I'm in. I love getting this traction here, but you want to make sure and get it with your hypothenar eminence, your pinky pad, and not with your saddle joint in your thumb. That can get a little sore. I almost never pass up an opportunity to work on that tummy. There's so much great stuff in there. Yeah. And then I decide whether I want to bring his legs up or not. Some clients that land in a really relaxed position, I just leave them there because they're so relaxed. Okay, that's it. It was quick, and hopefully you got some stuff out of it. Make sure and read the disclaimers if you're not sure what's safe and not safe to use. Other than that, go be amazing.